End of November, and we are still top of the table. The bad news is we did lose a game. The good news is it was a game in the Carabao Cup, which I don't care about, and the board doesn't care about, so they're not upset at my losing. We're coming off the international break. A lot of our players went out. Quite a few of them had some good performances. We've had a couple transfers in, including someone I signed almost 2 years ago who is just now showing up. I'm trying to figure out how on earth that happened, because in between now and then, he's managed to get capped at the under-20 level for his national team. Oh, and we signed Lionel Messi. My name's FM Jellicoe, and this is the Palace March, episode 55. So one of the things I like to do, I think other FMers do it as well, is they go and they take a look at famous football players, see where they are after their career ends. A lot of times players like Wayne Rooney and that go into coaching. I know Cristiano Ronaldo has gone into coaching in the past. He has been one of Lulu Zhou's great nemesis in his non-League to Legend series. Lionel Messi was available, wanted to be a coach, wanted to be an under-18 coach. And I said, sure, why not? He was a better attacking coach than the player I had. His mental and technical coaching are also pretty good, as is his youth rating. And also, being Lionel Messi, he has great determination and an okay level of discipline. He's adaptable. He can't motivate worth a darn, and he can't judge a player worth a darn. But you know what? It's freaking Lionel Messi on my squad. If that somehow, behind the scenes, doesn't give the club some sort of reputation boost, hey, I'd be really, really surprised, to be honest with you. That said, my under-18 team this year is a disaster. I've got literally 5 players on it who I've signed. Everyone else is grayed out. The players I've had in the past have all graduated to the under-23 team, or they've been let go because, frankly, they've been crap. What has not been crap, though, has been our performance. After drawing with Galatasaray, we were away at Leicester, and we won 3-2. Luis got us off to a fast start with a goal in the 6th minute. Timur Zukov equalized in the 25th minute. Lazaro put Leicester ahead in the 29th minute. Then Santelis equalized in the 33rd minute. William Goebbels put us ahead in the 56th minute. Leicester had the better of us this game from a match stats point of view. 22 shots, 7 on target, a slight possession advantage. We had 16 shots, 7 on target. As you can see, our midfield and defenders were better than their attackers, and that's what saw us through. Luis has become quite the find, actually. I brought him in to be a backup, and he has stepped in to be a first-team player. He's supplanted Benasser, because every time I have him on the field, he's either scoring or he's turning in a solid defensive performance. This was about the time PSG started coming hard after NECA. I signed a new contract last year and put a £104 million release clause on him. PSG is up to $80 million. It's possible he could be leaving in the January transfer window. At this point, though, every time they've made an offer for him, he said, I don't want to talk to them. They're not going to meet my contract demands, which I find interesting because they're PSG, for crying out loud. I don't want to say they have a bottomless pit of money, but it'll be a while before you heard anything if you dropped a coin down the pit they do have. Then after Leicester, we were away at Leicester for the Carabao Cup 4th round game, and we lost this one. It was literally 3 days after we played Leicester away in the Premier League game. Christian Acosta, 32nd minute goal. Lucas Africo, 45th minute goal. Luis, a 56th minute goal to get us on the board and kind of make it interesting. I didn't play a rotated side exactly. A couple players on here like Mepham and Sablik, who isn't exactly a rotation player. He and Amari are splitting time quite a bit, but this was mostly a first team, and we got beat fair and square. 12 shots, 3 on target to their 17 and 6. We couldn't get anything done, and as you can see, their defense did a heck of a job. They kept us out of the goal for the most part, and you know, we were due to have an off game, and I would much rather have an off game in a cup that no one really cares about. We followed it up by beating Swansea at home. This I thought was going to be the classic trap game. Swansea is in a relegation fight, and I figured they would turn in a quality performance and beat us. Instead, we were the ones turning in a quality performance. 20 shots, 8 on target to Swansea, 6-1. Ricci, a 44th minute goal. Benasser, a 66th minute goal. That's probably a goal of your candidate. It was a ground-hugging screamer from about 28 yards out that I don't know, graphically, it probably looked like it broke the sound barrier. There was like a wall of atmosphere in front of it as it went into the net. Again, our defense was completely on it this game. 7-4, 7-2, 7-1, and 7-2 from Sablik, Bosankic, Mepham, and Kirby. Gubbles, a player of the match worthy performance, even though he didn't get it. Who did get it? Benasser did, yeah, because of the goal. He came on as the 60th minute substitute, and the goal was well worth it. But this was a solid team performance, and we're getting a lot of that this year. Upon reflection, I think a lot of it does have to do with the fact that I didn't make a lot of changes to the starting 11. The players that are starting played here last year in some capacity or another. A lot of the players I brought on have been backups, and they're getting a lot of quality playing time, as evidenced by our 3-1 win against Galatasaray at home. Chris Manning, a brace of goals in the 18th and 61st minutes. Raul, a 50th minute goal. Akbaba had a 21st minute goal for Galatasaray. We just completely dominated them this game. 28 shots, 12 on target, had a 14-7. As you can see, this was a highly rotated side. I was really pleased by the Chris Manning result. He's a youth player. I can't remember if he came through our first youth intake or if he is one of the players I found on a free and brought in. If I look at his history, it doesn't tell me. It just tells me he showed up in 2019-2020 as a striker. He spent a couple of years here on the under-18 team, then went out on loan. Swindon had him for a couple of years, and he turned in a fairly credible performance, to be honest with you, at least for a youngster. 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Does have some issues with regards to the cons. You know, can't cross a ball to save his life. Fairly selfish player. Can only play striker right now. Part of me has thought about retraining him, but he's also a right-footed poacher, so he's kind of Mayoral's backup in case Nketiah goes out. But I wanted to play a fairly rotated side against Galatasaray, and he was the next man up, and he turned in a 2-goal performance. I cannot be upset about that. He's turning in a quality performance on the under-23 team as well. 18 goals, 10 assists, 6 players of the match there. He's got a chance as a backup player on the first squad here in a couple of years if another team doesn't come in and offer a decent amount of money for him. It says his value right now is £900,000. I think that's only going to go up. As you can see, he has really been improving in a lot of key areas. The concentration needs to come up a little bit more. The passing as well, that's what he's being trained on. His physicals are pretty good. You know, for a 6'2", 20-year-old, he's got a future. It may not be with us, but he definitely has a future. Beating Galatasaray also secured us the group, so we are on to the next stage in the Europa League. We followed that up with a win at Watford a couple of days later. A 2-0 shutout. Luis, a 9th-minute goal. Mepham, a 13th-minute goal. Watford is one of those teams that you're not quite sure what you're going to get. They can be the team that puts 22 shots, 15 on target on you, or they can be the team that just gives you 7 and 4. They've been kind of up and down, and I don't know. I expected more from them this game. I was expecting at least a fight, and for whatever reason, I did not get one from them. I'm not complaining about that. Really, I'm not. It's just, I don't know. I can't figure Watford out, to be honest with you. Today, though, we are playing Man United. The pundits have picked them to beat us, but as you can see, they are 3 points behind us. We are in first place, 2 points ahead of Man City, and 3 points ahead of Chelsea. Man United has the goal differential no matter what happens. They're outscoring opponents. How they managed to lose to Liverpool, I'm not quite sure, but I'm okay with that. As I said, the pundits are all picking Man United to win. I am hoping we could put paid to that and at least get a credible draw, if not a win outright. An outright win would be nice. It would give us a nice cushion going into December. Before that, though, the transfer thing that happened. Let me go there real quick. Anthony Lamb and Dan Parkinson are part of the youth movement. I brought them in on trial, and for some reason, both of them are not getting any better. I don't know why. I think that's just I have to say that's a glitch in the system. There's no way they would be going down like that, especially after they were on trial for 4 weeks and just sign them. Joseph Stanek is a player I found about 18 months ago. He was a free agent in Slovenia? Czech Republic. I knew it was one of those two. Czech Republic. I have a scout just searching Eastern Europe and Western Europe, and essentially Europe, on a 6-month rotation. Go out, find me a youth player who's not signed to a contract. And Josef Stanek popped up. He's got a couple of interesting attributes that I like. The 17 bravery, the 16 teamwork. The physicals they're average, but the goalkeeping, 14 aerial reach, 12 handling, 13 kicking, 13 rushing out for an 18-year-old. That's not bad. There's keepers in League 2 in the Vanarama that don't even approach that. If I was to compare him to Alan Ramsden, he's fairly close to Ramsden. Ramsden's 3 years older, and Ramsden has a decent amount of first-team playing time on other teams. He's also the starting under-21 English keeper now, too, which is very, very cool. But he's got potential. 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. I think that's probably going to be higher. 4, maybe 4.5 stars. I have another one of those situations going on where the discrepancy between my scouts and my coaches is coming into play. And my scouts are all very good scouts. I would trust their interpretations over my coaches at this point. Honestly, the plan is I'm going to hold on to NECA. I signed him to a new contract in the offseason, put that release clause on him. I'm going to hold on to him. If PSG or another team comes in for him and makes an offer that meets his release clause and he wants to negotiate with them, I don't want to, but I'll let him go. As you can see, he's 4.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. I believe he is maxed out on where he's going to be. I don't want to lose him, but at the same time, I don't want an unhappy player, especially a keeper, on my squad. If it comes to the point where PSG comes in and they make an obscene offer for him, and by obscene I mean they at least meet his release clause, I'll let him go. I'm okay with Rico starting a few games. I will also recall Ramsden and put Ramsden between the sticks. Part of me thinks that Ramsden, given the first team playing time that NECA has, will become almost as good a keeper as NECA. And then Stanek will be my under-18, under-23 goalie, and I will send him out on loan. And then when Ramsden moves on 4 or 5 years down the road, Stanek can step in. I don't know. It sounds good. At least on paper, it writes out good too. But, FM life is very, very much different. Okay, I'm going to check the best 11, and we're going to come back with a Man United game in just a sec. And this is the team we are starting today. NECA in goal, Centellas, Mepham, Kamara, and Savlik as the defensive back four, Fagner, Tonali, and Luis as the midfield three, Ricci, Gubbles, and Mayoral up top as the strikers. I'm giving Savlik the start over Amari today. I'm kind of switching back and forth between them. Same thing with Centellas and Kirby at the defensive left back position. Bosankic is out. He is exhausted from international games. He is at like 81%. And I promised Mepham I'd give him more first team playing time. And I'm losing a little bit of quality, but Mepham is still a very good player. Lamar already picked up a yellow. No complaints there. And he's got the free kick from outside the box, and he bangs it off the crossbar. Boy, we dodged one there. Ricci dispossessed. Lamar to Aaron. Back up to Lamar. Over to Blas. Long pass to Dembele in the center. He drives forward to Cardi, and he... Ooh, just over the crossbar. Looked like it was going in there for a minute. Lamar, another penalty kick from just outside, and he scores. Well done him. First time he hit the crossbar. This time he definitely hit the back of the net. Not quite sure why NECA was all the way over there, but okay. Amana with the throw-in. Oh, knocked away. Gubbles has it. It's 3-on-1. Dyer tries tackling him. Ricci. Right at De Gea. Oh, come on, people. You need to cross the ball more. Oh, Aaron loses the ball. Kamara up to Mayoral. Over to Ricci. Drives forward. Oh, Fagner's there. Off the rebound from Dyer. Well done. That was a good follow-up by Fagner. Why are they calling that a Mayoral assist? Well, United's had more shots, but they definitely have not been able to take advantage of it. We've been much better in front of the goal. 8 shots, 6 on target. They had the one Woodwork hit, which frankly should have been a goal. They had a slight possession advantage, but it certainly hasn't worked out into their favor as we are currently tied, which is a good result for us. I will take a tie. In other news, Bosankic and Tonali have both signed new contracts. Tonali wanted a 5-year contract, which I was more than happy to give him. I also put on, I want to say, an 88 mil. Well, NECA comes up and gets that before Cardi can. An 88 million pound release clause on his contract. He's also got a 25% sell-on fee, which he did not want to negotiate from, which I'm okay with because I'm not selling him. Blas back to Dyer to Paqueta. Back up to Blas, over to Dembele. He drives forward, Lamar's there, and he slots it by NECA. No problem. Where the heck was Sablick? I have no idea where the hell Sablick was. I'm reasonably sure Sablick doesn't know where the hell he was either. That said, Sablick can come off. And Amartey can come on. Lopez off the crossbar. A lot of that going on. Luis up to Ricci. Crosses it in, knocked away, but Luis is there. And highlight ends. Come on. Dallo with the throw-in. Lopez can't control it. Fagner gets the ball. Mepham sends it up to Tonali, to Luis. Over to Tonali. Over to Amartey. Oh, almost dispossessed. And he gives it up to Blas. Kamara runs it down. Back to NECA. To Mepham. To Tonali. Long pass towards Ricci, who's in space. Crosses it to Gubbles. Off the post. Mayoral's there. Off De Gea. And knocked out of bounds. God, I don't think we're going to make a better chance than that. And Ricci just went out with an injury. Oh, that is not good. I'm going to move Gubbles over. Bring Nketiah on. Dallo to Lopez. To Saka. Over to Aaron. To Martial. Drives forward. Bounces a ball off. And Blas' shot is just wide right. Potential foot injury for Ricci. That is no bueno. Amartey on the throw-in to Mayoral. Back to Amartey. Crosses it in, but knocked away by Dyer. Centellas is going to run that ball down. Over to Mepham. Back to Centellas. Up to Fagner. Over to Tonali. Oh, up in space, but Mamana runs it down before Gubbles can get there. Blas has the ball now. Back to Dalot. They're just going to play keep away the next couple of minutes. I bet Saka, unless they do that. Icardi got behind the defenders, and NECA with a nice save. Amartey runs it down, and the highlight ends. It's an interesting way to start the highlight there. Oh, Fagner. Oh, De Gea with a nice save. Oh, that was brilliant. Gubbles on the short kick to Fagner. Back to Gubbles. To Tonali. Back out to Gubbles. Over to Mepham. To Gubbles. Across the field to Nketiah. And I'm not sure what happened there. He kicked it and it bounced off a player. Then it bounced off the post. It didn't go out of bounds. Come on, guys. And De Gea with a nice save. That was a brilliant save on him by a Fagner shot. 2 minutes of extra time. 5 minutes of extra time, but we're 3 minutes into it. We're going to get an FM miracle here. I don't think we're going to get it. And we're not. Look at that. 24 shots, 9 on target. They had to our 16 and 13. And all we got was the one goal to Gea. Oh, that save on the Fagner shot was just brilliant. And now we're tied for first place with Man United. But they're ahead on goal differential. Now Martinez was sacked by Tottenham. We knew we had to lose at some point in time. And honestly, it's a lot more palatable losing to Man United than it is to, like, Swansea or Sheffield United. Let's see what happens here. 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Well, that is why we have Nketiah. We are going to come back for the Chelsea game. And then probably do our first... Well, we don't know who we're playing in the FA Cup third round. Whoever it is are probably going to beat us, knowing our performance in the FA Cup third round. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to come back for Chelsea and then come back for the FA Cup third round game. In the interim, I had a couple of commenters ask me how former Crystal Palace players were doing. Wilf Zaha went to Huddersfield. Well, he went to Man City first. And he had some not very good seasons there. Man City ended up moving him to Huddersfield. They took a loss. He's a part-time player for them. He played 36 games for them in the 21-22 season and was okay, 5 goals and 5 assists. But I don't know. I like Zaha as a player personally. He's one of my favorite ones on Palace at the moment. He seems to be kind of lost when it comes to where he can play and how well he does. Someone wanted to know how Christian Benteke was doing. Well, he's at Espanyol now. We moved him on to Bournemouth for £10 million. He had a horrible season at Bournemouth. They moved on him almost immediately and sold him to Maccabi Tel Aviv. He had 2 really good seasons in Israel. And then Espanyol picked him up, I want to say in the January transfer window. That's what it looks like. And he is playing for Espanyol in La Liga, and he is essentially a bench player. I think he would have been best served staying in a league like the Israeli league. It's painfully obvious that he is just not the player people thought he was going to be when he was at Aston Villa. You know, I don't know what, personally, I'm reasonably sure he's a very nice guy. I don't know what's worse, the fact that somehow Liverpool paid £32.5 million for him, or that Crystal Palace paid £30 million for him. And then he went on to, 15 goals in 36 games is good. That's a solid season. But last year in the real world, he had 3 goals in 31 games, including that penalty kick gaff. That's just, and he's not getting any playing time right now in the real world. Palace just played Cardiff, and it was the game they had 31 shots, but only 5 on target, and they had Townsend and Zaha up top as the strikers in the 4-4-2 they were playing. So it looks like Palace has moved on him in real life too. If he goes somewhere in the January transfer window, I would not be surprised by that at all. But somehow he's managed to garner £85 million in transfer fees in his life. So I don't know. The other one was Wayne Hennessy, who is now goalkeeping coach. And he's not a very good goalkeeping coach. Yeah, we moved him on to Rennes, and he played on the reserve team. He got 2 starts and never really played for them and retired. Well, just recently, it looks like. It says he's available on a free transfer. So he's still available as a keeper, I think. No, he's not. I'm looking at completely the wrong thing. Now, he'd be like a good lower league goalkeeper coach. And that's about it. But if you want to see any other past players from Crystal Palace and how they're doing in this universe, let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to look at them for you. We finally lost a game. It took until November 25th for us to lose a game, which is freaking brilliant. And it sets us up well for the rest of the season. And I think if it's going to take a team like the quality of Man United to beat us, then we're in for a very good season as it is. Arsenal is going to be a decent test. Man City will be a decent test. Chelsea's going to be a good test. That's who we're going to play next. So I think if we do well against Chelsea, we're definitely setting ourselves up really well for the rest of the year. We're also doing well in the Europa League. We've clinched the group. I think we have a good chance of winning that. Fingers crossed we can do that and secure automatic promotion in the Champions League and not have to worry about finishing top 4. But on the whole, I think I'd much rather finish top 4. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave them down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM Jellicoe. I thank you for watching.